Right, welcome back everybody to our YouTube channel BTCTV, and we continue to do videos about blockchain market, about different companies in this space. Today I'm happy to present you one more time Alex Mashinsky, CEO of Celsius Network. We made with him 2 times already interview, but still it is a lot of information we can learn and get from him. So Alex, thanks for coming to our TV show. Thanks.
Thanks, Maxim. Always great to talk to you, and good to see you healthy.
Thanks.
After Corona.
Likewise. I think that your T-shirt is saying the most important right now. Hold. Actually, yeah. If maybe before we will start, maybe you will make a little bit introduction about what is Celsius Network, because maybe not everybody knows what this is about. But can you a little bit make very quickly introduction about what is Celsius is about?
Sure. So crypto has 2 very important applications. One is the store of value. So Bitcoin is the kind of like the best store of value, right? The best asset over the last 12 years. And the second application that you can only do in crypto is what Celsius invented, which is yield, the ability to earn interest. Now we have 45 different assets, including 12 different stable coins, and the fact that your banks don't pay you any money for your money, and you can take the same money, put it on the blockchain and earn 10, 12, 15% on your money while you're hodling, is a very, very important application for crypto. So Celsius now has over $20 billion from almost 1 million customers worldwide. We serve customers in 170 countries. And basically we help hodlers. We're a hodler community. If you're a trader, you probably don't need Celsius because you're constantly in and out. But if you plan to hold your assets for a long period of time, we give you a safe environment to do it in and also earn yield. So basically, you get paid to save.
Thanks. Yeah, I think that you are really one of the first one who provided this solution, and most important, safe solution, right? Because you are doing this for a long period of time, and close to 1 million users is this is a lot of things to say because they trust you. Right now, I think another exchanges are trying to copy your business model, right? Like Binance even no, not Binance, but Gate. Yeah, but everybody. But
everybody.
Yeah. But my question is why still people choose your company comparing to other ones?
So Celsius still has the most assets. For example, if you use DeFi, you can only run on Ethereum. You can only do certain assets. And in DeFi, the rates are high one day, but you wake up in the morning and the rate is low and you have to move it and it costs you fees. So there's no fees in Celsius. We don't charge customer any fees. We have to earn the money from the lenders. From the borrowers, sorry. So we pay 80% to the lenders, and no one has a better formula. So because we deploy to institutions, exchanges, retail, DeFi, and now we're also doing mining, we have 5 sources of income, and our blended rate, the rate we pay on Bitcoin or Ethereum, on average is higher than anybody else.
I see. Okay, cool. Now let's talk about a couple weeks ago we saw a situation on the market everybody was excited with over 60,000 price for Bitcoin, close to 70, and then in one day almost 50% was correction to Bitcoin, drop it down to 30,000. What was your reaction on that, and did you continue to work to pay your commissions to people, to your clients? So can you tell us about that?
Sure. So it's the analogy is like a spring. When you stretch a spring too hard, too much, it wants to come back to its natural position.
Absolutely.
And all the leverage buy, all of the customers, millions of customers that put leverage on Bitcoin and Ethereum and other assets because they thought money was really easy and they're going to make 10, 20, 50 times their money. And they stretched the spring too much. The spring snapped back to its original position, right? And unfortunately, over 1 million accounts were liquidated with over $11 billion worth of value disappearing. Obviously, the entire community lost over $500 billion in value from the decrease, but liquidations, just direct liquidation on Binance was over 11 billion. So Celsius, again, we are definitely not the aggressive clan. I mean, our group is the conservative group, and we've been telling our users since February and March to be careful because this leverage in the system is a bad thing, not a good thing. And we've seen after the collapse, we've seen our community buy more coins. So we had net positive deposits. We're now still continuing to have over $1 billion a month in net deposits because our hodler community takes advantage of the low prices to buy more. But I definitely feel bad for all of the noobs who came into crypto because they thought it was easy money and they lost a lot of money at the peak of the market. So we definitely, the community, we're not doing a good job protecting these people. Instead of helping them, keep them in the community, now they're tourists. They came, they lost money, and they went back on the plane from fiat land back to, from crypto land back to fiat land, right? So not a good outcome for the crypto community.
Yeah. And one thing I also want to mention, like, I read one article, I don't remember in which magazine, that article regarding most stable tokens which performed very well during this period of time when Bitcoin dropped at 50%. And your token was one of there, like you're like a stable coin, right?
Yes.
Why you think so? Why it's happened? Like, why is like, why? Because usually, like, everybody thinking that, hey, Bitcoin is going down, so maybe, and your price of your token must also go down, but instead it didn't.
Yeah, so that was Barron's magazine. It's a famous Wall Street magazine. It's 100 years old, and they basically did an analysis of the performance of different coins and tokens. And as you mentioned, when Bitcoin was down 53% during like a 12-hour crash, Celsius was down, I think, 8%. The Cell token was down 8%. And all credit goes to our community. Our community, obviously there were few people selling, but there were enough people buying who felt that Celsius is doing great and the community is growing, and we are earning money. And during that week, last week, during the week or 2 weeks ago, and during the crash, Celsius made the most money in its history. So that was the most profitable week for Celsius in 4 years. And the main reason is that during volatility, we can charge much more to the borrowers. And because of that, that was a very profitable week for us. We also had no liquidations. None of our borrowers, none of the institutions that borrow coins from us or exchanges had any defaults. So because of that, again, we only lend up to 50% of the asset value. So we're very conservative, and we did not have any problems. The other people who are much more aggressive, who lend 70, 80, sometimes 90%, obviously had thousands of liquidations and lost money. So we know, for example, Binance had to raid their insurance fund. The insurance fund now has no money in it because they had to use that to cover losses and so on. So we prefer to be the slow turtle that wins the race when everybody else is running around like crazy, because when the music stops, we can still walk, and all the other people cannot walk anymore. So, you know,
yeah.
So That's our analogy. We're not the rabbit, we're the turtle.
Yeah. Speaking about community, I also mentioned that for during the last year, you are doing every week EMA section with your community. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe a little bit more. But yeah, it's like your community is a great one. Like you are constantly updating, constantly providing them a value, information, and most important, you are very transparent. Like you are like showing what you are doing and where you're going. Speaking about that, I didn't visit your website for a little bit for a while, maybe for a couple of months, but now I see that you updated your design and most important, you added web app. Why you decided to do this?
So yeah, so about our community, we love transparency. I think keeping your community updated, both good news and bad news, is very important, and it's very important for us to be honest and transparent. Again, I'm the largest user of Celsius personally, so I'm always thinking about myself as well as all the other Celsians. And we're launching, actually next week, we're launching Proof of Community, where all of our community users will be able to verify the information we give them through zero proof and cryptography. So very excited about that. The web app was something that a lot of our customers were asking for, especially the corporate customers. They would prefer web interface. We can also obviously put much more information on the computer screen than on a phone screen. And so we're excited that we launched that. We have another version coming out at the end of this month, and we'll be adding new features and capabilities to the web app. So definitely everybody should try it out. I think it's a great, we made it clean and simple to use. So try it out. There's a link on our website.
Okay. All right. And before we finish, one more news I read from you is like you are right now investing a lot to the Bitcoin mining in United States. I think like you are one of the biggest one, or maybe you are the biggest one miner of Bitcoin in United States. Why is that? Why you decided to move in that direction, and why you choosing United States for mining facility?
Yeah, so we probably are the biggest one. Last week we announced that $200 million additional investment. That's additional on top of what we already have, and we already run over an exahash worth of power of. Sorry.
Bless you. It's okay.
Worth of mining power, and so I think, look, there was very high concentration of mining in China. I think our community has over 110,000 Bitcoins with us, with Celsius. And we felt that it's our job also to protect the blockchain, and making sure that we have enough mining machines in North America away from China is a great way to secure the network and make sure that our community is protected. So no matter what happens to other networks, we know that we can provide verification. Also, when we take the 110,000 Bitcoin and we lend them to institutions or exchanges or DeFi, we get paid in Bitcoin, right? We get paid in yield. So instead of just lending, how about building a factory that makes Bitcoin? Right. So for us, investing in mining is just a way to make virgin Bitcoin that we have to pay our community. We have to pay about 5,000 to 6,000 Bitcoin every year. And if we can get a third of that or half of that from mining, that just basically, again, diversifies and guarantees our community that we can deliver that yield. So none of our competitors have, they're all raising 200 million. They cannot invest 200 million. So that shows you the power of Celsius. We are a profitable company, and the fact that we can make investment of this size puts you, we have over $2 billion worth of assets on our balance sheet, where most of our competitors barely have any assets, right? So you have to decide if you want to give your coins, do you want to give them to someone who has a lot of money or somebody who barely is in business, and they have to constantly raise money from their investors. So Celsius has built a very unique flywheel, right? A business model that works very well, and our competitors are trying to copy us.
Yes.
But I can tell you that all of them are losing money. Not one of them is profitable. So they did not create a good copy. They created a bad copy because I think they don't understand all the pieces of our business model.
I see. Great.
And token, just to talk about the Cell token, last year, Masari ranked the Cell token as the best performing token out of 10,000 different assets, ranked by market cap.
Wow.
And this year, like you said, Cell token was probably the most stable token, considering Bitcoin, Ethereum are still down over, if you take a 1 month snapshot, they're down 30 to 40%. And Cell token, I think, is positive over the same period.
Alex, with you is always like so pleasure to talk, because like you are getting so much information. I would love to ask a couple more questions. For example, right now, the last two news we read about adoption of Bitcoin by governments, by countries like Ecuador, and right now rumors are about India, that India also wants to adopt this one. What is your opinion about that? Like, do you think it will happen? And what is your opinion if like a lot of countries will adopt this one?
So I talked about this in my AMAs. You talked about the Friday AMAs, and so a few months ago, I think maybe 6 months ago, I talked about the fact that the fiat currencies, the currencies of countries like Turkey or Lebanon or Cyprus or Argentina, Venezuela, right? There's a lot of countries. They're like dominoes. They're all falling down because basically between COVID and the bad economic decisions, they have inflation, they have a lot of problems, and they have to decide, do I print more money or do I peg my currency to something like the dollar? And a lot of countries basically are afraid of pegging to the dollar because the U.S. has basically weaponized the dollar. The U.S. is saying, you want to use the dollar, you have to follow our policies. You have to do certain things the way we like it. Human rights, export, import, economic activity, right? So some countries are thinking hard and deciding, you know what, maybe I don't want to be attached to the dollar. Like Russia, for example, went completely off the dollar and is not attaching it to anything else. But El Salvador, other countries may decide that it's best for them to attach it to the Bitcoin instead of attaching it to the dollar. So we are really at a crossroad where every country is going to have to decide: are they in the dollar club as the reserve currency of the world? Are they free floating? So countries like Japan, UK can afford to be free floating. And other countries have to decide if they're going to attach to something else. For example, the digital yuan. China wants everybody to attach themselves to the digital yuan, and they're helping countries in Africa and others in Asia to economically, right? They're giving them investments. So I think we're going through a huge geopolitical change. So it's a big fight between the Chinese yuan, the US dollar, and Bitcoin is just a little thing that is stuck in between that big fight. So if few countries choose the Bitcoin, that's great for us. But, we are still in the very, very early innings of this, and we have to watch and see what happens. My main point is that Bitcoin doesn't need countries for adoption. Okay. Bitcoin needs people for adoption. So that country saying that Bitcoin is legal tender is not about hodling. It's about paying for things. And right now, Bitcoin is mostly a hodler, a saver's haven, right? Because it's mostly used for store value. It's not so good for payments, because if you bought a car or a house or a sofa with Bitcoin and Bitcoin went up 10 times, you look at the house and you say, I wish I didn't. I wish I paid with fiat, because the fiat value is going down, but the Bitcoin value is going up. So Celsius gives you loans. You can take a loan against your Bitcoin in fiat, and you use the fiat to buy the house or buy the car or something else. So that's a much better economical move, because you are using fiat and not limited supply Bitcoins to pay for the assets that you need to have.
Okay, great information. And like last question is like you are like a CEO of Celsius Network. Where do you see your company like in 5 years approximately? I know 10 years it is too long in in blockchain space, but in 5 years approximately. For example, do you want to bring this one to public, make it like IPO, or you want it to keep it private? I don't know. It's like, what is your opinion about that?
Yeah, so if you look at our white paper from 2017, we haven't changed our business plan or business model at all. It's exactly the same thing. And our goal there was to bring 100 million people into crypto, new people, right? And the Celsius wallet is a very simple wallet to use. You don't have to know anything. You don't have to know DeFi. You don't have to understand how the system works. You deposit assets, you earn interest. You deposit assets, you can take a loan. So we've achieved 1% of the goal of the 100 million. And I'm really hoping that in the next 5 years, we can achieve our goal and bring 100 million new people. It's about new, right? It's not about the existing people. We're trying to convince the people who hold a lot of fiat to convert their assets into stable coins, into Bitcoin or Ethereum, and so on, and really escape the inflation, the debasement, and all the bad things that are happening in the fiat world, right? The crypto world may look unstable. It may look very volatile. But over the long term, the fiat world has outperformed, the crypto world has outperformed the fiat world and has kept people more safe than any other asset on the planet. So that's really our goal. And our community is a very, very strong community. They've done very well. We've paid out over 3,000 Bitcoins. In dollar terms, we paid out close to $700 million to our community over the last almost 4 years. That's more than anybody else, more than DeFi, more than anybody else, right? So I think we've proven again and again that the safest and best way to earn or take a loan is on the Celsius platform.
All right. Thanks, Alex. It's always, as I said, great to speak with you. Great information. I really like that your company is growing and really super fast results, great results, big one. And yeah, so.
It's surprise. When you do good things for the customer, they stay with you and they bring their friends.
Yes.
So, like, again, there's nothing new, everybody wants to copy the Celsius formula. Great. Give more to your customer. That is the Celsius formula.
Absolutely. I agree with you. Okay. Thanks, everybody, for watching this video. Again, we spoke with Alex Mashinsky, CEO of Celsius Network. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for such great views. And yeah, thanks again, Alex. If you want to say something to our community, it's like you are.
So look, we spent last week in Miami, the largest Bitcoin conference. It was crazy. I mean, there were probably 50,000 people in Miami for the event. It was amazing. And anyone who's concerned about the price of Bitcoin or concerned about the news or political news or whatever, you have to be in Miami. If you were in Miami for 1 hour, you would not be concerned. So I want to calm everybody down. I think my projection for this year was still that we're going to go over $100,000, and I'm sticking by it. I think we're going to have another run up. It's just this time we're going to do it without leverage, which is much better, and or less leverage, I should say. And so now is a great time to basically average your price, buy a little bit more, and hodl, right? Hodl and wait for the markets to recover.
Yeah, I agree with you. All right. Thanks again, Alex. Wishing you good luck and wish you that you will reach your goal with 100 million users really very fast.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Bye.